am Johanna Lara and this is my teammate Gordillo. And in this video we are going to analyze the article published by The Guardian that is called "We Have All Been Turned into a No-Deal Brexit that Will Harm Millions," written by Simon Wren-Lewis.
Hi. In the article, he explores the situation which is facing the UK, caused by some bad political decisions, according to him. He firstly explores some past events and then he goes to the problem, which is a probable Brexit without a deal that will lead to a lot of bad consequences to the communities involved in the UK. Throughout all the text, Simon Wren makes an analysis, assumes some consequences, and shows evidence to sustain what he explains. With this message, his target is a general audience, making this text very resourceful. Hi, I'm going to talk about the three criteria, which are issue identification and focus, context and assumptions, and sources and evidences. On the issue and identification and focus criterion, he makes a good developing of the main issue, giving a retrospect view of what happened and caused the ongoing events. He gives enough information so the public, which is being addressed, the general audience of course, could understand a little bit more what is at stake. Simon proves that he has enough knowledge using more than 4 paragraphs to create an atmosphere where the reader can feel comfortable as it explores the article. The author seems to know very well what he's talking about, giving as a result a good issue developing. After all this, he retakes the main problem, showing the consequences that all the past can bring to the future, on paragraph 8. Evaluating the way the author constructs and organizes the paragraph, demonstrating the precise information so the reader can get little by little to the point and have a clear view of the picture, we give a solid 5 to this criterion. For context and assumption, we can see the author describing the issue, showing a political context where the events are developing. And also, he shows some historical aspects describing what happened in order to give the reader a complete perspective of what could happen next. These are the consequences that a bad developed Brexit deal could bring. Simon managed to put all the political and historical context in an accurate and organized way, resulting in a well-constructed river of information that guides the reader, and it doesn't let any aspect out of the picture. Simon makes assumptions after showing the information. He does not make likely assumptions and stays loyal to facts, historical context, and characters. He analyzes all of these points and does his assumptions. We consider that 4 points for this criterion will be suffice to describe Simon's ability to explore context and make assumptions. Now I'm going to describe the third criterion, which is sources and evidence. As a way of proving his point, in all the text, Simon addressed his sources of information or background using links. As you read the article, you will find some highlighted words meaning certain subject which the author previously describes vaguely. These links give you access to more information regarding the main subject, which is what will be the consequences of a Brexit without a deal. All of the information is valid because it shows a lot of historical background and facts that leads to the current events. His knowledge is not only found on the links, he also addresses experts about the situation. Another important thing to note is that the author is a professor of economics, meaning that his knowledge and opinion about the situation is not a guess, but he analyzes and sustains using his knowledge. The context sources and events that led to the problem. His sources come from pages as The Guardian, which is a certified portal of news, and there are other sources of proofs, which are video materials showing situations he mentions on the article. All of his analyses are very well sustained, and it's not a weak investigation or a poor investigation, but the excessive use of links makes the reading a little bit sloppy. It is good to give a lot of proof and information from external pages, but the main article should have enough information to describe the problem in order to maintain the reader connected. Simon uses enough links to prove his point valid, and a score of 4 seems to be the accurate decision to describe this criterion. Now, my teammate Johanna is going to describe the other criteria left and is going to give the general conclusion we get about the whole article.
Okay, and now let's talk about criterion number 4, which is diverse perspective. The author, through the entire article, shows us only facts about what happened and the consequences that a Brexit with a no-deal policy could bring. In his article, he shows his opinion about what he calls the remainers and the leavers. We can say the author clearly analyzes the whole situation, but mentioning the lies behind the intentions of the Brexit. Also, he does not use many quotes which opposite the point of view. As a consequence, he merely shows little pieces of acts or previous experiences in the political field to support his point of view. Because of that, we give this criterion a score of 3. And now the criterion number 5, on perspective. On this criterion, the author makes a good use of his perspective and point of view. He is not direct, and he still refuses to address his personal point of view. Furthermore, he supports his writing, giving sources and taking into consideration the word of experts. And besides, he highlights that what they really want is an economic exit. The author of the text uses a clean way to show his perspective, and it shows a thought which is clear and direct. However, one little problem is that the author gives short background information, and that proves that the reader needs to know or needs to have an extensive knowledge about this issue. So that's why the score for this criterion is 5. And now let's go with the next criterion, which is number 6, conclusion. The first 2 paragraphs used in this criterion section prove to be a complement of the conclusion, even though when the reader wants to prove why it is a bad idea. Also, the author makes a comparison, and he makes it at the beginning of the article, of course. And so we can say that the conclusion connects all the other paragraphs and gives the complete perspective of the author. The consequences are seen within the last paragraph. And nevertheless, the conclusion is not extensive and does not need to be explained again. But due to all that the author wrote, it seems to lack more words So that's why we give this criterion a score of 4. According to our analysis, his purpose is not to change opinions, but to strengthen reader thought related to the Brexit situation. Also, we consider that the author highlights the relevance of it to the society, and because of that, his article has an essential impact on the British public's opinion. Therefore, we can conclude that the author managed the issue very well and knows what he wants to achieve with his writing. Hence, he has a direct and appropriate writing to accomplish his communication objective. Okay guys, so thanks for watching, and I hope that you understood what we wanted to show you. This was our analysis, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.